Hello, everybody. If you saw my first video, you'll understand why I have a bullish thesis for Bitcoin. I'll put that up in the top corner of the screen. I want to talk about today about why I feel like we could have a bullish pennant situation play out. But I'm not going to talk about the technical analysis piece to this. I'm going to talk about the psychological piece. What are buyers and sellers thinking when a bullish pennant situation plays out? And the reason I think we're going to see a bullish pennant is because this is a very common pattern to occur on Bitcoin specifically. So I'm going to talk about why bullish pennants occur and what buyers and sellers are thinking when this situation plays out. First of all, let's talk about why did we have this selling right here? Well, that's because Bitcoin miners started selling their Bitcoin and taking profits. And you might be thinking, is that a bad thing? Why would they sell their Bitcoin? And the answer is no, it's actually a good thing. It's a good thing that the miners were able to sell for a profit because miners sell when they need to pay for overhead costs like electricity and they need to pay themselves, obviously. But they also sell when they want to make improvements to their infrastructure. So there's a possibility they're selling to do that too, which is a good thing. When the miners make infrastructure improvements, that contributes to the strength of the Bitcoin network. But in addition to the miners selling, institutions really pounced on this selling pressure to and started putting out news headlines like people are losing billions of dollars, the sky is falling, uh, the price is going to zero, whatever. This is what's going to happen when institutions start getting involved. And that scared a lot of people into selling their Bitcoin, and that's why we saw more follow through selling here. And we also had some traders that are using extreme levels of leverage to make speculative plays on the short-term price changes of Bitcoin. And for anybody that was long on Bitcoin, anywhere around here as we were going up, they were probably margin called by their broker, which means the broker forces them to close out their trade, even if it's for a loss, because they have no more margin to sustain the debt. So that did happen, and a lot of people lost money, which is very unfortunate. Um, this is why it's just really risky to use leverage on an asset that's very volatile like this. All right, so I'm going to talk about why I think a pennant situation will play out and what people are thinking. It looks like we're holding support right here, and that's just because everybody that wanted to get out did get out, and now there's only buying interest left. And that's because people that may be interested in buying Bitcoin are seeing these lower prices and they're saying, hey, we're 17, 15% off of the highs. This looks like a good time to buy. And so price is going to start trickling back up until we hit near the all-time highs, but not quite, maybe around this area. And we might have some more miners that wanted to sell but couldn't because price moved down too fast. That's a possibility. We also may have some traders that maybe people that are still trading with margin down here, and they're going to take profits right here, right? So we're seeing an increase in selling pressure and selling interest. So the price starts inching back down again because of this increased selling pressure until we kind of hit this support level again, right? The very top of this support right here. And now buyers are interested again. The same people who bought down here are looking at these prices again and saying, hey, this is not a good, that's not a bad place to buy. So then we see price start increasing again until we get up to right here. And it's at this point when price is here, everybody recognizes what's happening. Everybody can see very clearly that this is a pennant formation after this price action plays out. And keep in mind, the reason why we didn't see price back here just go straight up is because in the case of these pennant formations, it takes some time for more buying strength to enter the market, because keep in mind, this is a bullish pennant formation, which means we have a big move up before this consolidation pattern. This means that a lot of people are still holding on to their position and they're not selling, right? But they don't have enough money to buy again because not enough time has passed, right? People still need time to get more money, to get their paychecks, and etc. This is why consolidations play out in the way that it does, because people need to accumulate money in order to put money into the markets. So it's at this point when people are no longer interested in shorting this area here, because everybody recognizes that this is a bullish pennant formation, and bullish pennants tend to break out to the upside. So there is less interest for people to sell because they feel like they might be able to get a higher price, more profits. So they hold. The short-term players hold. The long-term players, of course, they're not selling. So who's actually selling here? Well, there's generally in these bullish pennant formations, there's less selling pressure than buying pressure. So we might have long-term investors that don't really care about where they're buying. So they're probably still buying, and we're seeing a slow inch up here. And it's in this kind of area where you have momentum traders that are looking to trade the breakout. So you might have most of your buy orders are probably going to be here above the most recent highs, because at that point, if price reaches that area, that means we have broken out of this formation. And that's where you see momentum pick up. But along the way, you probably have some smaller orders here and here from people speculating like this is the breakout, right? So it fills these orders, and then we get this, we start making a new high, and a whole lot more orders start getting filled, and then that's when we make our next leg up. So I'm going to remove the drawing here and just talk about what I think is next for Bitcoin. I think we're going to see a consolidation pattern for the next few days before we make our next move. I think it's going to be a pennant formation because it's a very common formation for Bitcoin. Like we talked about, we're going to come up and test some type of range, go back down, test the bottom range, go back up, and then we'll see a break to the upside and make our next leg up to 50,000. Or it's also possible we get a breakdown, in which case I think, technically from a technical analysis perspective, if the pennant breaks down, we could see prices low as 20,000, but I personally don't think that's going to happen. I think the lowest we go is 26,000. And it's important to consider what could happen in the opposite direction, right? Because as much as there are buy orders here, there's probably some sell orders sitting down here, people trying to play the potential breakdown in price and maybe short it or sell it, whatever. I am not too worried about it. I think 26,000 is the lowest that it would go if we do break down, and then we're just going to go back up. And here's why. We're getting a second stimulus, most likely. If you take a look at what happened in the first stimulus, the $600 checks, right here, we saw almost a 10% increase in Bitcoin. And then a few days went by, I believe this was the weekend, and then people started receiving more stimulus over the next couple of days, and just look what happened. Huge move in price. So I think we're going to see that again. This is going to be a larger stimulus of $1,400 per person, and I think a lot of people are going to be buying crypto with it. And even if I'm wrong, if people don't buy crypto, or maybe we don't get a stimulus, I still don't think price is going as low as 20,000. There is too much interest from institutions to buy Bitcoin. So the institutions are going to buy much sooner than 20,000. That's why it'll rebound probably at 26 or 28,000. I hope this information was valuable to you. If it was, please do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for the next video, and I'll see you in the next one.